Imagine going 7 days without eating anything at all. There is no breakfast, lunch, or dinner for you. All you have is water and your determination. It sounds severe, doesn't it? In spite of this, people from all over the world are experimenting with it, stating that it not only alters their physical appearance but also their entire mental condition. What exactly does place, however, when you push your body past the limits of what it can tolerate in terms of hunger? Science has some astonishing answers. The glucose that is stored in your liver immediately begins to be used up by your body during the first few hours. This is your immediate source of energy, similar to the battery backup that your body stores just in case something goes wrong. However, once it is no longer an issue, things begin to change. You begin burning fat for energy, and your brain starts receiving signals it's not used to handling. As the clock creeps closer and closer to the 24-hour mark, hunger intensifies. It is possible that you will experience feelings of lightheadedness, exhaustion, or perhaps a touch of euphoria. To your surprise, your body is beginning to adjust to the new environment. The process of switching fuel sources begins in your system, and an astonishing event is going to take place in your cells. Ensure that you are subscribed to our channel before we delve further into the next steps that your body takes. You will not want to miss out on what takes place on the third day. The initial 24 hours of fasting are comparable to a biological revolution occurring within you. The digestive system shuts down temporarily, insulin levels drop, and your body releases glycogen to keep blood sugar stable. While this is going on, hormones begin sending signals to the body to not burn fat, but rather to preserve muscle. Now, however, comes the most interesting portion. In spite of the fact that you have not eaten, your brain is still functioning. It starts producing more of a neurotransmitter called norepinephrine, the same one responsible for focus and alertness. That's why some people think they feel sharper while fasting. It's not just in their head, it's pure chemistry. Nevertheless, this state is not without its difficulties. The body's stress response increases slightly, your mood can change, and hydration becomes vital. In the event that you fail to consume enough water, weariness can strike like a ton of bricks. However, if you have the determination to persevere, your system will begin to reveal its secret survival code. Your body will have officially crossed a biological line by the end of the first day, a line that evolution designed for survival thousands of years ago. This is just the beginning of the bizarre things that are going to happen. The feeling of hunger begins to subside after the second day. In contrast to what you would anticipate, you find yourself beginning to feel a sense of serenity and focus. Your brain is switching gears at that moment. Ketone bodies, which are created by your liver, become your new fuel, and some amazing things happen to your mind as a result of their presence. Ketones have the ability to pass through the blood-brain barrier and provide direct nourishment to your neurons, ensuring that your brain remains alert even when your stomach is empty. For the purpose of surviving during times of food scarcity, ancient humans relied on this state. We were able to hunt even when we hadn't eaten in days because of this system, which kept us alert enough to do so. However, this change adds an emotional dimension to the situation. Some individuals have reported experiencing a spiritual clarity or an extremely serene state. Researchers in the field of science believe that this is connected to alterations in the control of serotonin and dopamine, which are your body's way of rewarding endurance. It is a natural way to excite the mind. All the same, your body is exerting a lot of effort behind the scenes. Your muscles will store protein, your metabolism will slow down significantly, and your body will get ready for long-term adaptation because of this. You have now officially reached the more advanced stages of fasting, and the incredible process that is about to begin in your cells is about to begin. In around 48 hours, your body will begin a process that can only be described as nothing short of biological miracle. Autophagy is the process. Your cells will begin to degrade and break down at this point, along with any old or damaged components. Think of it as the detoxification mechanism that is already there in your body. It is not necessary to cleanse with juice. Yoshinori Osumi, a Japanese scientist, was awarded the Nobel Prize in 2016 for pioneering the discovery of this process. The name autophagy literally translates to self-eating, but in a positive sense. As soon as your body begins to digest waste material, renegade proteins, and mitochondria that are not operating properly, it begins to convert these substances into fuel for survival. One of the reasons why prolonged fasting has been associated with increased longevity and a decreased risk of diseases such as Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, and even cancer is because of this relationship. The cells in your body are undergoing a process of rebooting. When you remain in this position for an hour, you are performing a thorough cleansing of your system from the inside out. However, there is a responsibility that comes along with the rewards. If you have been fasting for an extended period of time, your body may start cannibalizing muscle instead of waste. The secret is to strike a balance and to be aware of how long you can continue doing so without risking injury. Your metabolism undergoes a significant change by the third day of the program. Upon recognizing that there is a major lack of food, your body begins to conserve energy in order to deal with the circumstance. Your core temperature may drop, your heart rate may slow down significantly, and your system will reach an astoundingly high level of efficiency. Currently, FAC is the primary source of fuel. At this point, the liver is operating at full capacity, producing ketones that are then sent to the brain. During this time, your digestive organs need to rest so that the body may redirect its energy toward maintenance and repair. It's the same as turning off systems that aren't necessary in order to maintain the ones that are necessary online. It is interesting to note that these studies imply that while the body is in this state, it becomes more resistant to the effects of stress and inflammation. The regeneration of white blood cells begins, and there is a possibility that immunological function will improve. To a certain extent, your body is acquiring the ability to heal itself. However, not everyone is able to maintain a fast for such a lengthy period of time. A deficiency in nutrients can cause the body to experience stress, particularly if adequate water and electrolyte levels are not maintained. On the other hand, the metamorphosis, both in terms of the body and the mind, has only started. As the third day approaches, an extraordinary event takes place. You will notice that your body begins to reimagine itself from the inside out. The energy that was previously utilized for the digestion of food is now being diverted toward the repair of tissues, the healing of inflammation, and the process of cell regeneration. The exhaustion that characterized your initial days starts to dissipate, and it is gradually replaced by an unusual sensation of clarity and alertness. It is almost as if your body has finally gained an understanding of the new rhythm and is beginning to accept it. At this point, insulin levels are substantially lower deep inside your bloodstream, which enables fat to be broken down at a more rapid rate. Because ketones continue to be produced by the liver, they are now responsible for the majority of the energy supply to your brain. This shift not only helps to maintain mental acuity, but also shields neurons from the damaging effects of oxidative stress. They believe that this is one of the evolutionary reasons that humans have been able to survive for extended periods of time without nourishment. To put it another way, fasting heightened our senses. But euphoria isn't the only thing that happens on day 3. It is possible that some individuals will have lightheadedness, minor headaches, or difficulties sleeping. The body is adjusting its hormones and neurotransmitters in order to maintain a stable level of energy and mood. This is the body's way of adapting. The need of electrolytes and hydration cannot be overstated at this point. In their absence, even the most resolute resolve is susceptible to failure. At the end of this day, your system will be operating at its highest possible level of efficiency. It has stopped being very concerned with food. To ensure its own survival, it is optimizing itself. When it was originally a feeling of deprivation, it is now beginning to feel like evolution taking place in real time. On day 4, the majority of individuals anticipate feeling exhausted. Instead, many people report experiencing the opposite, a peculiar burst of energy that appears to come from nowhere. The ketones, which are chemicals that are produced by your liver from fat, are the key to success. They serve as the body's main source of emergency fuel, but they also have a surprise side effect, which is that they improve mental clarity. You will experience a calm and persistent alertness rather than crashes and cravings when you consume ketones, since they give a more consistent flow of energy than glucose does. The mitochondria, which are the minuscule power factories that are found inside your cells, become more effective at burning fat. The term metabolic freedom is used by many biohackers to refer to this alteration in metabolism. Having regular meals is no longer necessary for your body to maintain its functionality. In any given moment, it is able to generate energy from its own stores. This is a discovery that many people find to be liberating. However, the quick surge may be deceiving in some cases. Mineral intake that is not adequate puts the body at risk of electrolyte imbalances, which can result in feelings of exhaustion or even heart palpitations. Because of this, it is imperative to maintain proper hydration even when one is fasting. When it comes to maintaining the equilibrium of this delicate system, salt, magnesium, and potassium all play a non-obtrusive but essential function. On this fourth day, your body transforms into an energy alchemist, changing the fat that it has stored into the energy that it needs to live. The essence of the matter is that you are depleting not only your physical reserves, but also everything that is not essential for your life. This exemplifies the purest kind of biological minimalism. At this point, we will discuss one of the most fascinating aspects of prolonged fasting, which is mental focus. The chemical composition of your brain shifts when glucose levels decrease and ketones become more prevalent. It has been demonstrated through research that fasting stimulates the creation of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, also known as BDNF. This protein is essential for the development of new synaptic connections, as well as learning and memory. It feeds your mind like fertilizer, so to speak. When people are in this condition, they frequently describe it as a mental flow, in which ideas come effortlessly, distractions fade away, and tasks appear to be clearer. This is not a placebo, rather, it is one of evolution. When they were hungry, early humans needed to have keen mental faculties in order to obtain food. During the period of fasting, your brain is reverting to its more primitive state of awareness. It is working more diligently, more quickly, and more intelligently. In addition to it, there is a psychological aspect. As your digestive system gets more at ease and your energy levels become more stable, your mind will become more sensitive to subtle sensations, ideas, emotions, and attention. Many people have reported feeling more reflective and even spiritual. Certain monks and ancient societies engaged in the practice of fasting specifically for the purpose of attaining this elevated state of consciousness. At the same time, maintaining self-control in the face of your natural urges to consume food continues to be a challenge. Not only does this stage of fasting test your biology, but it also tests your willpower. It is only when you are able to keep your composure in the face of the din of hunger that you will begin to uncover the true capabilities of your intellect. A shadow side is associated with every significant transition, and fasting for 7 days is not an exception to this rule. The body is capable of astonishing adaptations. Nevertheless, if it is pushed to its limits, it might result in potentially harmful repercussions. It is possible that your body will begin to break down muscle in order to obtain protein when your nutrient stores become depleted, particularly if you do not retain adequate hydration and minerals. This procedure has the potential to weaken the heart and alter the function of the organs over time. For your heartbeat to remain steady, the electrolytes that you consume, including sodium, potassium, and magnesium, are absolutely necessary. In the absence of them, the equilibrium between the electrical signals in the brain and the heart can become disrupted. Because of this, it is prudent to seek medical care for fasts that last for more than 3 days. It is possible for even the most self-controlled individuals to suddenly develop symptoms such as dizziness, weariness, or confusion. Another concern that is not readily apparent is a condition known as refeeding syndrome. Consuming an excessive amount of food in a short period of time after a prolonged fast can cause the body to experience a shock, which can result in potentially harmful changes in the levels of fluids and electrolytes. In unusual circumstances, it may even be lethal. Because of this, it is equally as vital to conclude a fast in the appropriate manner as it is to start one carefully. It is true that fasting has the power to change you, but it is not a challenge that should be taken lightly. There is a tiny line that divides healing from harm, and the ability to recognize and respect that boundary is what differentiates a life-enhancing event from a potentially harmful error. It is now day 7, the highest point of your fasting journey. Your body is a masterpiece of adaptation at this moment in time. The efficiency with which fat is burned is at its highest. Inflammation markers are at their lowest, and autophagy is still operating at a high level, maintaining its ability to clean every cell with surgical precision. You are now officially in a biological condition that only a small percentage of people ever experience. But beyond the realm of science, something more profound takes place. On day 7, many people who are fasting describe it as a stunning moment of clarity and an emotional reset. There is a sense of serenity and thankfulness that takes the place of the cacophony that is caused by desires, stress, and routine. A lighter state of mind, sharper senses, and a more vivid awareness are all qualities that you experience. It's almost as if the mind and the body have finally come together in complete quiet. Internally, stem cells start to regenerate, which assists in the repair of tissues and the enhancement of your immune system. A surge in the creation of white blood cells occurs, and your digestive tract gets ready for fresh starts. You are not merely abstaining from food, rather, you are revitalizing yourself from the inside out. Nevertheless, this is the limit. After 7 days, the risks begin to exceed the advantages, unless you are closely supervised by medical personnel. After climbing the mountain and seeing what the body is capable of, it is now time to descend the mountain with caution, because the next step is just as important as the journey itself. When you finally consume food after going 7 days without eating, it feels like a holy moment. However, here is the catch. This is the stage of the process that requires the most care and attention. In addition to the fact that your enzyme levels are low and your gut lining is extremely sensitive, your digestive system has been dormant for a week. If it is excessively hefty, that initial bite has the potential to shock the body. A reaction like this is referred to as refeeding syndrome, and it is one of the most risky errors that people who fast for an extended period of time can make. When there is an abrupt influx of food back into the system, insulin levels rise, and electrolytes rush into the cells at an excessively rapid rate. It is possible for this to result in significant imbalances in potassium, magnesium, and phosphorus, all of which are essential for maintaining the rhythm of your heartbeat. Because of this, breaking a fast should always start off with a gentle approach, with modest portions, foods that are easily digestible, and a lot of fluids. One way to think of it is as a process of gradually educating your body to eat again. The digestive process begins to restart at this point, much like a long dormant engine. Your gut microbiome, which consists of the trillions of microorganisms that live inside of you, starts to reawaken. The manner in which you refeed can have a lasting impact on your health, affecting not just your metabolism, but also inflammation, and even your capacity to maintain a stable mood. It is not enough to simply become accustomed to eating again. You must also reset your entire system. At its core, the conclusion of the fast does not mark the conclusion of the transformation. The rebirth phase is the part of the process in which your body takes what it has learned from the deprivation and transforms it into a rejuvenation that is effective and long-lasting. Fasting has evolved from an old custom into a cutting-edge scientific practice thanks to modern research. Long-term fasting has been demonstrated to stimulate cellular regeneration, lower oxidative stress, and increase lifespan markers, according to research conducted at Harvard, Stanford, and the University of Southern California. In reality, this is not pseudoscience. Rather, it is biology operating at its most fundamental level. The discovery that fasting activates genes associated for longevity is one of the most exciting discoveries ever made. These genes are the same ones that are activated by calorie restriction, which is known to lengthen the lifespan of animals. Additionally, researchers discovered that by fasting on a regular basis, one can lessen the likelihood of developing metabolic illnesses, enhance insulin sensitivity, and even assist in the regeneration of the immune system following chemotherapy. A survival program that is deeply embedded in our DNA is activated when we fast, to put it succinctly. On the other hand, science is also unequivocal about one thing. There are some people who should not engage in fasting. Without the supervision of a medical professional, individuals who suffer from chronic diseases, eating disorders, or metabolic imbalances should never attempt it. When applied to one body, something that is effective as medicine can be toxic to another. Both equilibrium and comprehension are essential. When you fast, you are not simply skipping meals. Rather, you are re-establishing a connection with an ancient biological rhythm that has been suppressed by modern living. It is a reminder that your body still remembers how to survive, heal, and regenerate itself if you only allow it the opportunity to do so. If this is something that piques your interest, you might be interested in learning what occurs when you fast for just 24 hours. These findings will take you by surprise. In light of all the scientific research, the battle, and the transformation. Is it really worth it? The truth is that the purpose of fasting for 7 days is not so much to lose weight or to detoxify quickly, as it is to discover more about oneself. The voyage will take you into the most profound layers of what your body and mind are capable of enduring. When you learn about your biology, you discover how adaptive, sophisticated, and resilient it really is. Instead of hunger, it is a regulated rejuvenation of the body. Those who have successfully finished a fast lasting a week frequently describe not only bodily changes, but also shifts in perspective. The significance of food is increased. The feeling of gratitude grows, and appreciation for simplicity takes the place of the din caused by the ongoing consumption of goods and services. It is almost as if the body, in complete silence, imparts a long-forgotten truth to the intellect. We require a lot less than we believe in order to flourish. This kind of fasting, however, is not something that should be romanticized. Preparation, self-control, and awareness are all necessary components. In the absence of those, the downsides may be greater than the upsides. Instead of trying to force your body to its limits, the objective is to pay attention to it in a way that the majority of people never do. The true strength of fasting lies in this aspect of the practice. In addition, as your body returns to its usual eating pattern, keep in mind that you have just witnessed the wonder of human adaptation. You were not weakened by going without food for a week. Rather, it demonstrated how much strength you already have. If this in-depth exploration has opened your eyes, be sure to subscribe to this channel, give it a like, and share it with someone who is interested in learning more about the capabilities of the human body. If you want to learn more about the secret science that lies behind common routines, you won't want to miss the next exploration.